Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Radha Gokulananda Raya, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda Sherade. Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda. Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. Sitaram Lakshman Jaya Goranita, 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 Jaya Goranita. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Shila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Shila Prabhupada. Jaya, Jaya, Prabhupada, 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 Jaya, Shila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premanande Haribo. Jayom Vishnu Padapamamsa Parivajakachaya Shtutarashata Shishima Desi Bhaktivedanta Manor Prabhupada Ki. Jayom Vishnu Padapamamsa Parivajakachaya Ashtutarashata Shishimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Kotive Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki. Preme se Kao Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shvasadi Gaur Bhakta Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhana Ki. Vrindavan Dham Ki. Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki. Ayodhya Dham Ki. Dwarka Dham Ki. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki. Ganga Mai Ki. Yamuna Mai Ki. Sarasvati Devi Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Turasi Devi Ki. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Bhaktivedanta Manor Iskon Dham Ki. Sankirtan Yagada Ki. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Narsinga, Bharato Narsinga, Ito Narsinga. Yato, Yato, Yamita, To Narsinga. Bahe Narsinga, Hridaye Narsinga. Narsinga Madim Sharanam Prapadim. Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Advuta Sringam Dalita Hiranyagasipu Tanubringa Kesavadita Narahari Rupa Jayo Jagadisha Hare Jayo Jagadisha Hare Jayo Jagadisha Hare Karakamalvare Nakha Aduta Sengam Dalita Hiranyagasipu Tanubringa Adita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jayo Narsinga Dev Jayo Narsinga Dev Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Narsingadev Bhagavan ki Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki Srila Prabhupada ki Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Hare Rama Hare
Hare Shri Prabhupada ki Hare Nam Sankirtanya ki Radha Gokulananda ki
Hare Rama Hare
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Do you know are the prayers? Oh, yeah, I don't know the second one. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Jala Salakaya Chakshuru Unmilitamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadasi Swapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Tam Sajivam Sarvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhano Sutudevi Pranamami Haripriye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you. So today I thought instead of reading the verse I had something to share, and I wrote a little paper on realizations on Bhagavatam. So we hear many times that in order to go deeper, we need to share what we learn. So in this order, I wrote a few realizations I had in the last few months, since I'm here in the Bhaktivedanta Manor and at the shelter of Shri Radha Gokulananda. And so there's a few realizations on Srimad Bhagavatam, on the essence of the fruit of the Vedic tree. I wrote it down, but maybe I can just speak on it. So I remember when I was coming here, I came with Sutapa, and I asked a bit, what is this Bhagavatam? What is this living energy? And something I learned is that Bhagavatam, what we have today, Bhagavatam is person and is book. The book that we have is adapted to our time and to our planet. And if you see in the beginning, there's is the sages reunited in the forest of Nimitzaranya. And so they are asking what to do for this age of Kali. So in this way we can see it's adapted to the time. They are preparing for this age where we are at. And according to place, we are on planet Earth. And we see many of the stories of the kings. It's happening on this earthly planet. So maybe in the Evolate planets they have other Bhagavatam, other stories of other kings. But the Bhagavatam is adapted to time and place. So this was first introduction. And the first event that helped me to understand, or the first time Bhagavatam helped me in my life, I remember I was hearing this, a class from a devotee in France. Hare Krishna, thank you. And I started to get a bit upset with the things he was saying I was not liking. So I started to get angry inside. So eventually I decided to leave the class because it was disturbing me. And when I was out, I was trying to calm myself and it was not good. So I remember I was reading 4th canto. And in the 17th chapter, you remember what happens? So, 2nd chapter of 4th canto, sorry, not 17th, 2nd, Daksha curses Shiva. So I was remembering, I was very angry. I was like, oh my God, I just want to challenge that philosophy, that very envious mood. So I remember the mood of Shiva when he was cursed. How he was very peaceful. He didn't react, he didn't get angry, he didn't get disturbed. And as curse and contra-curse are going, then he just decides to leave. When it's too much, he just leaves. But he says nothing, he does nothing. He just tolerates it. So that helped me. That was first time Bhagavatam helped me. So I returned to the class and I was more harmonious in myself. Because I understood what's the behavior of Vaishnava according to Bhagavatam, according to the examples of Lord Shiva. It was first event. Second event was also related to this. I had a debt to pay and I didn't know, should I pay, should I not pay? And I was a bit disturbed with this. So I was reading Bhagavatam and Lord Shiva's wife this time is cursing Chitraketu because he was laughing of Parvati sitting on the lap of Lord Shiva in the assembly of the sages. So Chitraketu is laughing, and so Parvati curses him and says, "In your next life you are a demon." But he comes out of his airplane and he bows down, "I accept your curse." So in this way, this debt is coming. What can I do? I accept. So I follow the example of the sages which are presented in Bhagavatam. So I accept the curse. My karmic reaction coming upon me, I accept. And I was peaceful with it. So this was the second time Bhagavatam helped me. And I was reading, and sometimes we are reading or doing something, but in the back of our mind something is going on. We are reading, it's okay, but we are thinking of, and I see how this is relating. At the same time, we are reading a story or a pastime, but we are relating to Bhagavatam. And also Bhagavatam is presenting that, but behind is thinking something. So our subconscious and the Bhagavatam subconscious are helping each other, are relating. So sometimes we are reading a story, thinking about something else. And at the same time, Bhagavatam is linking to what we are thinking behind our mind. He's hearing that, and he's also helping us. I notice sometimes I'm reading with a problem, and when I'm reading, my problem gets much less important. And I understand the root, it helps me. When I have a problem, I'm just reading. Even if the story has nothing to do with my problem, I feel how it is somehow the essence, not the story at the time, but the essence is deluding, is helping me to realize the essence of who I am. So the other class of realizations I had was all here, the last few months. And I was reading Bhagavatam for like 2 or 3 hours, non-stop. I was just reading, and I was just relishing the nectar. And then I come down, and I found one of, what is his name? Ashish and Rasaraj. They are speaking in a room, and I just opened the door to see who is there. And Ashish turns to me and says, "The sages are speaking." And he said, "The sages are speaking." At that moment, a click did in my mind. I was reading Bhagavatam, the sages are speaking. And now I come out, the sages are speaking. And I saw, it's the same thing. You know, that moment where the two Vaishnavas are speaking, that was Bhagavatam. So I was like, I close the door, I go out, and it's like, my whole life had changed in a second, in a phrase. And it was funny, he said, the sages are speaking, and I said, "Vidura and Maitreya?" And he said, "No, Donkey and Shrek." So that was a funny answer by Rasaraj Prabhu. Rasaraj Krishna Das. So that helped me also a lot, because it said, this is Bhagavatam, we are speaking. And I was like, wow, it's happening. You know? It was non-different from the story I'm reading with Vidura and Maitreya. There's two devotees speaking. It was exactly the same. So that helped me a lot. That helped me a lot in living Bhagavatam. Another time, I was washing windows. I was just doing temple upkeep. And I was not very enthusiastic about it, you know. It was like I was cleaning a room, and then we finished. And then it's go out and clean the windows. I'm like, it's cold. I just have my dhoti. I don't even have socks today. And it's cold. I don't want to go outside. So I'm not so enthusiastic about it. And we are cleaning, and I'm like a bit upset mood. I'm like, what does this have to do with Bhagavatam? Like, I was a bit proud, like, I'm here to understand Bhagavatam. How is this related to Bhagavatam? And then the devotee says to me, it's in the section of devotional service. And I was like, what? And it just completely shattered my misconception, you know. And it's seeing between the lines. You need to see in between the lines. So that helped me a lot as well. Because I could understand Bhagavatam is divided in cantos. So there's different sections that match, that are placed in different areas of our life. We have our social area, we have our private area, we have our community area, we have different areas, and also we have different phases in our life. Sometimes we are going to the phase where we are studying, another phase we are working. So these phases and areas of life, again, time and space. So Bhagavatam has different sections for different parts of our life and from different sides of our life. So like this is Bhagavatam. So when he said that, is in the section of devotional service, I realized like, okay, so Bhagavatam relates to this. So in this way, I understood. But my question was, how does this relate to Bhagavatam? And I find myself asking this question many times. Like I'm in the shower and ask, how does Bhagavatam relate to this? And I ask it with sincerity, like what does this taking a shower has to do with Bhagavatam? And then I remember there's parts in Bhagavatam where it describes about the routines of the sages or of the Brahmins. They take shower every day. Even 12th chapter of 7th canto describes the routine of a brahmachari. And many times I'm asking this question, how does this have to do with Bhagavatam? What's the relation? In the most common things. So that helps a lot. Because suddenly your mind is thinking Bhagavatam in a real life. It's not like the stories of the sages in Sati Yuga, where they are full of mystic powers and create airplane cities, like Kardama Muni. That's okay, it's happening. But in our life, how is the Bhagavatam related to this? And the last story that I had to share about Bhagavatam, was I was reading again for 1 or 2 hours and I came out to ask Daniel Prabhu about something practical of service. And then I just share with him what I was reading on the 7th canto. And it's speaking about the brahmacharis. And there's a verse, 4th verse of the 12th chapter, 7th canto, 7, 12, 4. And it's saying brahmacharis wear a straw belt, a deer skin, and matted hair. You know, like Rasta. Like what? I even searched the translation and he knows the word matted and these rastas, and I was like, we are not doing this? What's wrong? But as I was speaking with David, I was saying, it's saying that brahmacharis should wear deer skin. But actually, what it is saying is that we should wear natural cloth. So the principle is there, natural cloth. And I was realizing it as I was speaking. So the principle is there, but then the acharyas adapt it to our situation in life. So in that way, that was the last realization I had on Bhagavatam. So all these realizations helped me to be able to grasp Bhagavatam as a living force. And I think the reading is very beautiful. As I was saying, like as you read your mental conceptions, all your problems get kind of slowed down, a bit like you kind of understand deeper. So that's the point as you're reading, but then it also has a very deep effect outside of your reading space. The fact that we read Bhagavatam creates I have different experience in different times. Like sometimes it just really condenses the mind, like the mind is thinking about all these aspects, and when you're reading, it's like you're thinking about this one thing, Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord. So when you're reading, one of the aspects that you feel is like this focus, this sharpness of the mind. But there's like a certain stability also that comes with reading Bhagavatam. Because your conviction gets stronger. So even when you're outside the reading time, outside the direct association with Bhagavatam, there is still, its presence is there. And many times I'm thinking about Bhagavatam outside of my reading space. Like thinking all the sages, and their example, at them as living persons. And how they are reacting to these circumstances and what these circumstances mean, Sometimes it comes naturally. Other times I'm as I'm reading, trying to a bit get it. I'm going through the first time, my first reading. I'm on the 9th canto now. So I felt to share, to go a bit deeper. And I don't know if you guys feel like sharing any realizations on Bhagavatam, any experience that you might have. That would be nice to hear. I know you read. I get it. share some of your experiences, like what is reading Bhagavatam.
So, I have the same experience that you. That means every time I read the Bhagavatam, somehow it's connected or related to a current event in my life. So it solves naturally question. It brings solution to the different formula of peace that you need to conduct your behavior, to be elevated in your devotional progression. So every time somehow the Lord arranges that those things are helping me or are connected to the question that I need. And there is no chance that it can happen so many times, every time. It's definitely transcendental, and some people will call that synchronicity, you know. So there is sometimes, like Sutapa was telling that he met a guy, he called him after 1 year, he met that guy in the street. There were 0.0001% of chance that he met the guy that he called 1 year after on the city that he doesn't know. Those kind of things are happening with the Bhagavatam. So it's definitely a living entity. It's a living books. It's not only pages made of ink and paper. There is definitely Vasudev behind those lines, and is helping you through the knowledge of the sages. So I understand why the Goswami, they were always keeping the Bhagavatam. Not only that they will find a solution to their devotional problems, but they will also be able to visualize the pastimes in a more advanced state. And they think to go until that level means you necessarily have developed the sight to see Bhagavatam everywhere. So if I would like take a shower, I will think of Shiva holding the Ganj on his shoulder, or the purificatory process that the Brahmana is doing. If I'm eating prasada, I will always remember all Krishna has tasted before, and many things also to get your memory transformed. It's good to learn verses. I think if they can relate to your daily life, you will be able to memorize them easily and to perform a deeper devotional service.
Okay, maybe we...
That's all. I think
Thank you.
My experience connected to you.
Thank you for sharing. It's nice. It's nice to see how it matches, how it speaks in different devotees' life, and see some similarities. I don't know if you have any experience, if you would like to share something.
Well, I feel a little fortunate because I struggle to read Bhagavatam. In general, I would struggle to read.
Yeah, can be on hearing.
Yeah,
Is it about the experience of Bhagavatam?
Yeah.
Can be the person also.
Yeah, so personally, because I've read a little bit of Bhagavatam. I've still not gone much deep into Bhagavatam. I did notice that when I read Bhagavatam, I was able to concentrate on those pastimes I was reading as I was doing my chanting. I was recently reading Varaha's pastime, and then later on, I'm saying that Kantra was reading about how the Kumaras start chastising Jai and Vijay because they think, how can you guys meditate on blocking people in Vaikuntha? Vaikuntha people, you can't block them from Krishna, they are realized. And so, you know, the little I would like read on that, I would just try to, I would be able to meditate and maybe singing and chanting, but when I hear you guys speak, I feel quite fortunate because I still don't have that kind of taste about it. But hopefully in the future,
It comes, yeah.
that love about it.
For me, the secret is association, to be near those who really relish Bhagavatam, who live Bhagavatam, living Bhagavats. And we have great examples here. So I also give my very deep appreciation to Sutapa Prabhu. I feel in that sense he had a very crucial role. So I pray my Dandavat Pranam to him, because he has sincerely helped me on that journey and on that understanding. So I feel very much in debt for his endless, selfless service. Thank you. There's the prayers of Sanatana Goswami. To Srimad Bhagavatam. And we're just going to read that, and then we're going to give still a little taste of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Maybe it's not this. Sorry. I'm not sure I can get it. Internet is quite slow. I don't have it in my phone. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Alright, so So the verse we had to read today is 252. It's a nice verse. We're going to discuss like 5-10 minutes on it. Huh? No. It's just realizations on Bhagavatam. So I'm just going to read Sanskrit and translation and purports, and then speak a little bit. Yadate moka kalilam buddhirvyati tarishati tadaganta shinirvedam shrutavyasya shrutasya cha. When you are intelligent as passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. Purport. There are many good examples in the life of the great devotees of the Lord, of those who become indifferent to the rituals of the Vedas simply by devotional service to the Lord. When a person factually understands Krishna and his relationship with Krishna, he naturally becomes completely indifferent to the rituals of fruitive activities, even though an experienced Brahmana. Sri Madhavendra Puri, a great devotee and acharya, in the line of devotees says, "Oh, my prayers 3 times a day, all glories to you. O Batheng, I offer obeisances unto you. O demigods, O forefathers, please excuse me for my inability to offer you my respects. Now, whether I sit, I can remember the great descendant of the Yadu dynasty, the enemy of Kamsa, and thereby I can free myself from all sinful bondage. I think this is sufficient for me." Finish. The Vedic rites and rituals are imperative for neophytes. Comprehending all kinds of prayer, 3 times a day, taking a bath early in the morning, offering respects to the forefathers, etc. But when one is fully Krishna conscious and is engaged in his transcendental loving service, one becomes indifferent to all these regulative principles because he has already attained perfection. If one can reach the platform of understanding by service to the Supreme Lord Krishna, he has no longer to execute different types of penance and sacrifices as recommended in revealed scriptures. And similarly, if one has to understood that the purpose of the Vedas is to reach Krishna and simply engages in the rituals, then he is uselessly wasting time in such engagements. Persons in Krishna consciousness transcend the limit of Samdha Brahman or the range of the Vedas and Upanishads. Verse again. When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to hear. And I have something I can share. I hope I don't make any offenses. Please forgive my immaturity. But it's what is on my heart. So in that way I'll share. There are certain aspects of Krishna consciousness that naturally captivate us. Like according to our nature, according to who we are eternally in our constitutional position, we're going to feel more drawn to certain people, to certain places, to certain activities, regardless of the transcendental quality of all of them. We have our self. So when we experience higher tastes, when we experience those feelings and those experiences of ecstasy, when we are in the kirtan, when we are on book distribution, when we are on the wave of mercy, we lose taste. And the other day we had a very nice class with Sutta Prabhu about Vrindavan. Was quite interesting. And he was saying, and I was feeling it so much, I've been thinking about Vrindavan a lot these days. And I was feeling so much like what he was saying about the mood of the residents of Raj, how much devotion they have for Krishna. And then at a certain point, he stopped that and he started picking on the class on the Gita. And my heart was like so empty. It seemed to me so shallow. What I've been experiencing is like this residents of Vrindavan. We always hear this, bhakti is not about how much knowledge you have. It's not about how many austerities you've done. That's not what Krishna is saying. I always hear this since I'm in Krishna consciousness. But I realize it when I see the love and devotion of the Vrajavasis. They are serving Krishna. How much knowledge I have, how much austerity, I don't mind, whatever. It is practically lived in their life. It's practically applied in their daily routine. We are hearing this, we are thinking in our own ways. But when we see their lives, when we see their deep love, their deep, it's even sometimes it just strikes me, We can understand that all these things don't really matter so much to really develop our faith, our bhakti, our relationship with Krishna, all the knowledge, all the austerity, all the charity and penances. It's nice. It says in Bhagavad Gita we should continue to perform it, but you also see that that's not what Krishna is wanting. So I've been very baffled, I think that's the good word, to see the living example of the residents of Raj. And in that sense, seeing their devotion and their commitment to their Lord, to their beloved, dear Lord, everything else seems very tasteless. I've been struggling with that, I've been really struggling with that. Like seeing their life, seeing their devotion, and then like still hearing, but everything seems like a bit less tasty. So in that way, it says, when your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, and so when our intelligence is able to overcome false pride and bodily conception, it's very important that this humility, and we do have false pride. It's very deeply craved, like shell in our heart. It's like crusted there. So it's very hard to take it out. But this exposure is a bit hard process. It's like operation in the heart. But the exposure to the fire really melts the iron-like heart that we have. And then our intelligence goes a bit beyond our mundane perception of self, relationship, and God. And we see something a bit beyond. So these are my words. Sorry, I don't have much to say. And I hope we can take something from this. We spoke a bit about Bhagavatam, some realizations on Bhagavatam, who is Bhagavatam, how to live Bhagavatam. And now the verse speaks about intelligence, so transcending intelligence, and we speak about the examples of the lives of the Vrajavasis. And that's my little realization, my little thing to share. So I appreciate all of you for your presence, for your little time here. And Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Oh, questions. I didn't ask for questions.
It wasn't really a question, it's just I was meditating on the translation of the verse. When your intelligence is passed out of the dense forest of delusion, becoming different, all that has been heard, all that is heard. And I was just thinking how, like, my life is based on that, like, I'm affected by things that I've heard, and I anticipate about things that I'm going to hear about myself or about my practice. Pleasing others, seniors, devotees, guru, and it's like when you actually pass out of that dense forest, all these things become insignificant. So kind of just related to what you were saying. And when you see the higher taste of the Vrajavasis, everything else becomes like, and it's how things Albert Einstein was mentioned that when he reads the Bhagavad Gita, all the problems of the world seem superfluous, meaning that it's insignificant, isn't it? I just love that.
It's nice. So you're saying that according to all the impressions that we have from our past experience and exchanges with others, that is clouding our understanding of it's creating expectation of our self. Preconceptions of who we are and what's life. I think when we see some higher example, then these things a bit lose, they are shattered by, and for me the example of the lives of the Vrajavasis really shatter because it's also outside our culture, our lifestyle, and they are born there. They are born there, they are raised there, they learn the principles since their childhood. That's what they know. They know how to serve Krishna. It's their deity, their Lord. And the whole family is living around that. And the whole family is sustaining that. And is relating to the world through that. And they go through the different stages to come to be able to serve the Lord. And they serve the Lord in a certain mood. So that it's completely outside of our level of reality. So we pray for balance. Jai Shri Prabhupada.